Okay, cool. So I graduated college in 2020, and I had interned the summer before my senior year and had a full-time job lined up. I signed a return offer for that job in like October, so the very, very beginning. And then my entire senior year, whenever somebody asked me what were your plans post-grad, I always had both a place that I was moving to and a job worked out. When the pandemic first started happening, I ended up moving back in with my parents and finishing out college at their house. And then during literally my last lecture ever, which was remote, I got a call from HR from the company I was returning to saying that my job offer was being rescinded. So that was a bit of a bummer. And I was pretty mad and sad about it for like a while, but I knew I had to, start recruiting, make a living, and like start the beginning of my adult life, even though I was still living at home and we were in the midst of we're still kind of in a pandemic. But I did end up getting another job right after, and I was there for like only about 6 months before I ended up leaving. It just like didn't really feel like the right role for me, and at the time I was kind of just like scrambling for anything, and it was like the first offer I got, and it seemed like it had a lot of stability, and to this day I'm very grateful like that I was able to bounce back so quickly. But now I've been working actually as a product manager for the last couple of years, and I was able to make that pivot, but I would never have like done that had I not lost my job as a software engineer, I think, in the first place. So it kind of inspired me to really think about what I want to do with my career and like the long term. So yeah, I know like nowadays a lot of people have been really struggling to find work or like going through layoffs, and I think it's important not to like internalize it and think it's your fault. Like sometimes companies have to make tough decisions, and it's just like the result of factors outside of your control. Like the week I lost my job, I just had this like gut feeling it was gonna happen. And I remember like my dad telling me like, you're being ridiculous, like you're fine, you've been talking to them like all summer, you did a great job at your internship. And I just like knew, but I also knew that like there was nothing I could have done to stop it. And like you can't predict the future, and you can't control the like greater economy. So yeah, to anyone else who's been laid off, I guess like utilize your network. Like don't be embarrassed or ashamed to admit when it happens to you, because like it is like so out of your control for the most part. And yeah, you might find like a really unexpected, really awesome opportunity. Like the current company I've been working for, I've been there for 3 years, and I've been promoted twice in like less than 3 years, and I really think it's like what I want to do. So yeah, I guess that's a little like story. I also like was very lucky to be able to stay at my parents', I guess, in the interim. Like I know a lot of people wouldn't be able to do that, and I'm very lucky that I actually like hadn't moved out yet, because if I had, there would be a lot more to worry about like expense wise, and I'd saved up a bunch of money from working the summer before, so that was good too.
That's pretty good.
But not everyone has that privilege, so yeah. But I worked really hard, I studied a lot for interviews, and then I landed on my feet, so it ended up working out. But ironically enough, yeah, like I was able to do like a career pivot. But I actually worked my like college's career fair for my current company last week, and so I was talking to like a bunch of seniors and juniors and current students about like different job stuff, and hopefully I gave some like inspiring words and didn't make it seem too dismal. But I feel like I really had a rough go of it when it came to like graduating and finding work. So
that is true, because you've been through that and you know how it felt.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure the same way there could be a lot of other people that they're maybe having the same struggle, maybe a little different, maybe a little like easier or a little harder. I'm pretty sure if they see this video, they're gonna have some hope.
Yeah, I mean, I hope so. Like in hindsight, there are so many other like worse things that could have happened than losing my job, but in the moment it felt like the end of the world. But it really wasn't. So
that's good. And at the end, whatever you want to say, like you can tell about your today's party that you're going, or about Napa's plan, or whatever. Like,
Sure.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, as far as my weekend plans go, right now I'm going to a going away party for a couple of my friends. I like met them through my high school friends, which I was able to reconnect with because we all moved back home during the pandemic. But it's a little like going away party, should be fun. And then I'm gonna meet up with my other college friend after, probably for drinks. And then tomorrow, I might be going to Napa. We'll see. It just kind of depends on if we can get into any wineries. And then Sunday, who knows? Probably reading.
That's good.
I just finished this really good book, actually. I guess this is promotion. It doesn't really need promotion because it kind of went viral on TikTok, but it's called The Great Alone. I think the author's name's Kristen Hanna. And it was about this girl who moves with her family to Alaska, but like middle of nowhere Alaska. And so it's about her like growing up there and kind of about her family too. But it was really, really good. And it wasn't a book, it's not the like normal genre that I would have picked up, but it was really good.
Thank you so much for sharing.
Sure, no problem. But now I need a new book, so if you have any recommendations, let me know. Are you from Iran originally?
No, I'm from Afghanistan.
Okay.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't have any good book recommendation for you.
That's okay.
What book would you recommend to me to read?
That's a good question. It depends on like what genre you like. Do you like nonfiction or fiction?
Nonfiction, something more real, because so I could learn something from it.
Okay. I will say I don't read too many nonfiction books, and when I do, they're more so about like people's life stories. I really liked The Glass Castle. I think there was a movie that came out a couple years ago, but it's about this girl and her parents are just like kind of wacky. I think they end up like homeless, but they're like homeless by choice, and so it's about like growing up with them. That was really good.
Okay. The Last Castle.
But I don't read too many like nonfiction books. I'll read memoirs every once in a while. Yeah. I feel like there was this other book that a lot of people have been reading. It has like a man crying on the cover. I'm trying to remember what it's called, but I think it's a documentary. It's really sad though.